Hello and welcome to the Hyperloop. My name is Blake. Today we're going to get started with a tweet from TransPod. Leading tech CEOs privately suggest Ottawa explore building a Hyperloop between Toronto and Montreal from the Logic. We've seen a lot of press lately of Hyperloop routes like Virgin Hyperloop One connecting various cities in a very small space around North Carolina. But this article, unfortunately it's behind a paywall, kind of outlines which exact CEOs are wanting to build a Hyperloop between Toronto and Montreal, or one between Edmonton and Calgary, which is further west Canada. So it's really interesting to see, and I'm glad TransPod is promoting this. The projects would be funded by the Canada Infrastructure Bank according to recommendations made by the CEOs who are advising Ottawa on their roles as chairs of the Economic Strategy Table, blah, blah, blah. So check out that article if you have a subscription by the Logic, so good job. And this follows kind of off the heels off of a global Hyperloop conference. We unfortunately did not attend it due to the timing restraints, but these are kind of the information in the agenda, and they've now made the webinars public. So opening remarks, the grand perspective, a former consular to the U.S. Department of Transportation, and TransPod's co-founder and Chief Technology Officer, Ryan. So definitely check out his thoughts and opinions in the webinar. And then also it kind of breaks off into Department of Transportation issues, land use, policy, and politics. So all of these webinar links are here on the hyperlooppartnership.org website. Next, it's official. 19 hours ago, Hyperloop, SpaceX pod competition Hyperloop Twitter account tweeted, "Teams have arrived in Hawthorne for the 2019 Hyperloop pod competition, now underway pod testing." So good job. It's now official. Hyperloop UPV released this video. It's really nice. We're excited to present the recipe in which we show how the innovation of Hyperloop UPV merges with the Valencian tradition of the hands of Arroz da Casa, a gold sponsor of the team, without which would not have been possible. So let's check it out. This is awesome. It's a rice company using traditional values from Valencia, Spain. And Hyperloop UPV is the only SpaceX pod competition team from Spain. And they released their pod Turin this year, and I think everybody's really excited to see how they do. And we're watching a present being opened. I don't think I've ever seen okay, that's cool. It's a gift, and he's making what looks like paella using the rice. Looks to be a small model. And awesome, Hyperloop pod. Oh, it's the real thing. That's probably the best sponsorship video I've ever seen for Hyperloop Group. So good job, Hyperloop UPV. And this is their Instagram account. I would highly recommend you check it out. They had a link here talking about, how they're doing. They just released a whole bunch of images on their Instagram, and they've made it, and that's always really impressive seeing that used rocket right on SpaceX property, and the huge engines. And they had a link to this article, day one. So let's check that out. And then, of course, this is Google Translate. Much of the Hyperloop UPV team is already working 24 hours a day in LA, where they've held their first meeting with SpaceX engineers. This is a nice, day summary. They're staying in Inglewood, a town adjacent to Hawthorne. And next Sunday, we'll fly the 3 prototypes that have been passed most satisfactory. So on Sunday, they're just the top 3 teams will be in the SpaceX pod competition tubes, while the public is invited for that. Yep, this is pretty cool. The workstation in the form of an Airbnb. All members of the Hyperloop team are accommodated in a couple of Airbnb houses located 20 minutes from the competition. It's easy to recognize because of the huge transport vehicle they have to use to transport the prototype. They practically work 24 hours a day in 2 houses between Turin and the team members. The best part is taking care of the pampered prototype, which occupies several rooms between pieces and storage and test benches. The stress in the group is evident. Let's not forget one of the most complicated engineering competitions for university students on the planet. Being the only team from Spain also increases the pressure. They're an ambassador, and that weighs in, and nerves are on the skin, dark circles around the eyes too. An admirable organization. Right now it's organized chaos. Chaos of people interspersed with mechanical and electrical pieces and peanut butter sandwiches at all times. The subgroup's propulsion energy dynamics are largely self-managed after a general coordination meeting. And so many brilliant minds under one roof. It's also remarkable the management of this precision is a challenge. The challenge they're facing is numerous. The prototype moved from plane, and about 70 kilos of materials were carried in personal suitcases. Only some members of the team are over 25 and can drive the vans to transport the materials around the city. And you need special pieces that keep coming in, or look for stores many kilometers away. There's a component. Some of the components were sent to California months ago, and the endless list it's an exercise of engineering as its own competition. The first meeting with SpaceX team yesterday, the 14th, Hyperloop UPV met with SpaceX engineers to present and defend their purpose, and to get the first comments from the consular SpaceX engineers that are assigned to each team. The sensations were very good in general, and only some recommendations regarding protocols were received. A few modifications made Turin, and the team liked it. The prototype, by the way, did not take this time to take advantage of the 24-hour additional hours of work. Today, Monday, they'll have some more testing. A few changes from the competition last year. The test increased emphasis on battery and pneumatics, since the pods must be self-propelled. In the first editions, they could use a push by another kind of trolley that SpaceX operated. These categories are more relevant. More could be otherwise. Each year, the SpaceX pod competition becomes more and more complex. In a garden, a couple low houses in California, many obstacles to come. It's a great start to the 2019 pod competition. And so we're going to be following their day-by-day listing. So that's awesome. Good job. Keep up the good work, Hyperloop UPV. Next, Delft Hyperloop made a vlog today. We're just going to quickly watch it. Only 6 days until final. And this is
today we are
SpaceX tube.
The SpaceX tube. This is the tube where the race will be. Like the 3 finalists can go in there
behind
and prove that their pod is the fastest.
The factory at SpaceX.
Yeah. So there it is.
There it is.
So there's an aluminum I-beam in the track, and this can be used for guidance, or we can propel using the I-beam. But we cannot damage or alter the I-beam in any way, because of course, after we enter, or maybe next year, other teams still have to use it. We're also not allowed to crash into the far end of the tube.
Yeah, don't try crashing.
Yeah, we're almost at the end. So there it is.
A mile and a half or so.
Hi guys.
Cool.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for the tube preview, Delft. And now we're just going to kind of look at Instagram. All these teams are here: Tomb Hyperloop, Swiss Loop, Badger Loop, and that's kind of it. We're just going to take a quick look at Avishkar's wrap up for day one. That's cool. And Avishkar actually met with other alumna from IIT Madras here in San Francisco. So they've had a lot of nice connection with their university. This is a new team actually, Aeron Hyperloop from Thailand, and they're starting to recruit people, and they've just released their homepage as they're showing proudly, and they're starting meetings and stuff, so that's cool. Good job on the website. They already have a couple partners in the University of Bath in the UK. That's cool. And contact us, and definitely if you're in Thailand, reach out to them, visit their website, connect with them on Instagram. Hyperloop field trip, that's funny. Now EFP Hyperloop is getting ready at 8:28 in the morning. That's pretty brutal to wake up so early, and this is Hyperloop UPV as we kind of go through here quick. Queen's Hyperloop also took the obligatory photos underneath the landed Falcon. That's cool, and I think they're pretty stoked to be there. Toronto to Los Angeles. Cool. And yeah, Edinburgh is working hard. Is made up of more than 50 team members from 16 different countries. They're underneath the pod, they're above the pod, they're beside the pod. It's a young team. Average age of the team is 20. There's the cheese grater, because it looks like something you'd use to grate cheese, but it contains the wheel. That's funny. Using magnetic propulsion has always been part of Hype philosophy. Our motors are entirely designed manufactured by students, so that's pretty cool. That's above all, Hyped is a group of friends sharing the same goal, making Hyperloop a reality. That's pretty sweet. Friend photos. Ask us anything. What motor controller software do you use? They built their own, coded by their own software team. That's cool. Whoops. And how's the pod coming along? We've been working hard this week, assembling, wiring, and testing the pod. We're making sure all of it's ready to start tomorrow. And University of Windsor Loop finally made it, and they're walking the long walk and taking the obligatory photos. That's awesome. Good job making it across the US Windsor Loop. Delft, again, not much in terms of development. Oh, we did. When do you think Hyperloop will be possible? We aim to for the Hyperloop to be fully operational network in 20 years. So that's cool. So do you have designs for track changing? Our pod is specifically for SpaceX track. It can handle the bumps and loads, but no big changes in design. Yeah, all these pods are pretty much built specifically for the SpaceX pod competition track, but their technology is applicable for larger Hyperloop transportation. Oops. Mr. Bebop asks, what's the material used in the induced system? I would say aluminum or copper. I would say aluminum. Whoops, I can't click it. And the answer is aluminum. That's cool. And Hyperloop TT reposted that as well. So that's about it. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and we're happy to answer anybody's question. We're just going to kind of continue following all these university teams that are at SpaceX, and we'll be going there on Saturday to meet some of the teams and just kind of walk around before the competition on Sunday. So stay in the loop and stay hydrated in LA because it's pretty hot. Bye-bye.